remember they had the makeup out. I would put on the makeup. You know, you're a kid, it's pretty gross, but I'll get the makeup and I'll put on my eyes, and I'll do a full face of makeup. The stuff on, and then, you know, I'll look around, and sometimes the workers would like chase after me and be like, that's not appropriate, you're making a mess of the displays, these are displays, you know, they would get mad and stuff, and then they would be like, you know, this is dirty, you shouldn't have put down your face, this is unsanitary. And so I got to the point where I had to learn how to be quick and sneaky, because the staff would come and they would kind of like chase me around, or I would be running away from them trying to get the makeup on before they said something to me. And come on, okay, so apparently there's been a ruckus on the Sephora children. If you don't know about that, basically it's where, let me just back it up because I just want to talk about this. So recently I decided that I was going to treat myself and go back to Sephora. I used to go to Sephora a long time ago, but honestly it's very expensive there, so I kind of cut back on Sephora, and most times I get my skincare maybe a little bit at Ulta or at Target. But you know, I'm making a couple little coins, and I've been working full time. I know that's a lot of information, but whatever. I decided, let me go ahead and go to Sephora and get some skincare and just kind of re-up on some things. And I noticed when I went to Sephora, there was a lot of children there. And when I was walking inside, for a second I was thinking, I've been isolated from like going out and going to places like this for the last 3 years. So I was thinking to myself, I'm just getting older and they look young. The things that you tell yourself. Or I was just thinking, oh, maybe this is the new way of life. Maybe this is what teenagers look like. No, honey, they're not even teenagers. These children are literally 10, 11, 12 years old. I didn't think nothing of it, but I went to Sephora again, and I'm like, why is it every time I go to Sephora, there's a whole bunch of children? And it was just a passing thought, didn't think twice about it. And then last week I went to Target. I went to Target and I looked at the makeup section because I wanted to get some, I was trying to see if I can get some cheaper concealer, like drugstore makeup, because I got tired of spending money in Sephora and I didn't want to do that. And oh my goodness, go ahead and go to Target or go to Walmart, anywhere. All the makeup section is destroyed. The makeup is destroyed. Everything was messed up. I'm talking about next level destroyed. I'm talking about all the concealers were open, all the lipsticks were open, and I was thinking to myself, this is bad. And I noticed the same kind of sentiment in Sephora and all the makeup stores. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, the children are out. The children are out. And that's just a little thought that I had. So here I was on YouTube doing my research. I call YouTube doing research because I'm a YouTuber. So I'm trying to see what's out in these streets. And then I noticed that there's videos saying the Sephora kids. You guys, it's true. There are a whole bunch of children who are out here in Sephora doing what? I don't know what they're doing because they're not my children, so I don't know what they're buying. I don't know what they're doing. But I did see one mom. I was looking for some skincare, and we were both looking at the same kind of skincare, and it was a mother with her daughter, and I've been listening to the kids a little bit. Like one little child was like, where's the Charlotte Tilbury? Like I heard little kids say that, and I'm like, how do they know what Charlotte Tilbury is? And Charlotte Tilbury, if you know anything about makeup, that stuff is expensive. I don't buy Charlotte. You know when I brought Charlotte Tilbury? I brought it once for my wedding 3 years ago. I don't buy Charlotte Tilbury now. There's the spray that I want, the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I don't have the money for that. So these kids know the name brands. They know what they're saying. They know the products. And I'm like, why would a 11 or 10 years old know what Charlotte Tilbury is, and why are they buying that? That's like one of the most expensive products. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's kind of embarrassing to be a grown woman and the children have more money to spend on makeup than you do. Long story made short. So I started watching these videos, and a lot of people are saying the children are bad, they're destroying everything, they're rude. I haven't had any like rude experiences, but I do notice that they're children, so they kind of like run around a little bit. And let's not get exaggeratory. So let's break this up because I wrote some notes down. So things I want to talk about is marketing and the power of influence. Then I want to talk about finance and class. And then I want to talk about my conclusion, which is basically, you know, what I think about the whole thing. So now that we're in this digital age and everything's, you know, online, and people are really online, and we have children now who are raised with devices in their phone and iPads and watching all sorts of people, right? And as a kid, I was watching people as well. Honestly, if I give you my background, I was into pop stars, I was into Britney Spears, I was into NSYNC, I was into Backstreet Boys, I was into Christina Aguilera, I was into Brandy, I was into R&B singers, and I love Disney. So I was into Disney. That's what kind of things I was into. But if you're seeing a whole bunch of kids, oh, there's this one product that they're getting. I think it's called Drunk Elephant. I don't even know what that is, but I think it's skincare. So the children are watching us get ready, like get ready videos. And you know how skincare right now, if you're like, you know, watching these kind of videos, you notice that skincare is like kind of like, for me at least, the demographic, like my feed is showing me a lot of skincare stuff and getting ready and skincare and all those showers and taking like a bath with like 100 different kinds of soap. Like, how dirty are you? Okay, let me stop. I'm getting, seriously, these videos when people wash up, they use like 5 different kinds of body washes. Like, come on now. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to use 5 different body washes and 10 different kinds of moisturizers. First of all, that's a lot of product. Second of all, I don't need all that. Third of all, who's going to spend all that money on that stuff? Y'all need to think. Anyways, so the marketing influence. So we've always been marketed, we've always been influenced, and there's always propaganda. But now the propaganda is starting at the young age, and also everybody's getting kind of mesmerized, everybody's getting kind of brainwashed, right? We're all kind of getting brainwashed no matter what, whether we like it or not. So that just shows you the power and the influence of marketing. And I believe it's celebrities, children who are showing this skincare. So that shows you, you know, when kids see another child who looks like them, that makes them even more excited and more willing to want to buy these things. So it just shows you the power of marketing, the power of influence, and how that's exciting for the companies. If you're a company person and you see, wow, I can get all these kids to come over here and buy all my products just by simply using, that's giving a ding, 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 ding. Now all the other, like right now we're getting upset. Some people are getting upset because the children are kind of messing up the experience of Sephora. But that is giving a ding ding to people who are marketing people or companies. It's showing you, wow, we have a new demographic, and it's children whose parents have money to buy things and who have money to spend things. So it's gonna get more advanced. It's gonna get more than just this. So that's all I have to say about that. If you just think about it from outside point of view, you don't think about it as somebody who's saying, oh, Sephora is getting locked up with kids. Now let's talk about the other thing, body image. A little concern that some people have been having, maybe I've been having, if you're a child, if you're like 10 to 13 or whatever, your skin is actually at the best point that is. Their skin is actually the best it's ever going to be. So honestly, children don't need to be putting skincare on their skin. First of all, it can destroy their skin if they're trying to be fabulous like me in their 30s. They don't need to do that. I believe just washing their face, lip gloss or chapstick, and some sunscreen, and maybe a little moisturizer, but they can't even use moisturizer that has any chemicals in it. Children's skin are very fragile, so that's kind of dangerous. And then on top of that, if children are looking at these images, then if they're hyper focusing on themselves at this young age, it's kind of worrisome, because there's other things that they could be worried about. You know, who's to say when they turn 15, they're not going to want to do more things. They're going to want to do Botox. They're going to want to do this. It's just, who's to say it's not going to keep getting advanced and more. So that's the thing that's kind of worrisome. Children shouldn't be having that complex. It can plant a seed of, you know, first it's like, oh, let's do skincare, have fun. And then it's going to be, oh, my skin is not pretty. My skin is not good enough. I need something to make it better. And then that's how it starts. So I think parents need to be very careful of allowing their children to have this information, because it can end up hurting them in the end if they don't have some critical thinking on that. Is it age appropriate? Some people are saying, oh no, the children are losing their innocence. Let me tell you something about Nadia. When I was that age, guess who was doing that? Me. When I was 5 years old, four, I mean, I think all little girls do that, a lot of little girls. I used to be highly interested in my aunt's lipstick and makeup and everything, but I was very interested in it. Like, it was a big deal going to my aunt's house, because I saw she had all this lipstick and she had all this nail polish, and that just blew my mind. And I would go in there and I would try on her lipstick. I also used to always watch my aunts when they put on their lipstick. It's something about lipstick, I had a very affinity towards lipstick. And this is me personally. I even got in trouble when I was 5 years old because I was trying to wear lipstick, and I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I liked wearing lipstick and lip gloss and makeup and stuff. I liked that kind of stuff, and I got in trouble by Uncle, and he scolded me and told me that I was just a bad little girl for wanting to wear lipstick and blah 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 blah. Anyways, so I got in trouble for that many times. So I just remember as a little girl being highly hyper focused on makeup and lipstick. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I even did something when I was like 3. I took some nail polish and it almost got my mom in trouble for shoplifting because they thought that she told her. They thought that she told me to do that. I just did it because I wanted the nail polish. So this is a different kind of thing. So coming from somebody who was like me, who was very interested in those kind of things at a very young age, I don't think that it affected me that bad. Now, granted, my parents, they would not let me wear makeup. They would not let me wear lipstick. And they would tell me, no, you can't do that. So I constantly was told, no, I couldn't wear lipstick, no. And I think I would sneak and like put some on. I would literally put lipstick on just inside my house when my parents were home, just because I wanted to have lipstick on my lips. That's how I was. So to each his own. I think the children are going to be okay. Because I was okay. Now, another thing that I want to say about that is, now, every year for my birthday, I did have shopping sprees. This is a tangent, but on my birthday, I would go to the mall and I would get a brand new outfit from head to toe, and it would be like a princess outfit, like the most beautiful outfit, matching gloves, hat, purse, and everything, because I love that kind of stuff. And then my dad would take me to the makeup counter, like MAC, Sephora, all those fancy places, and he would say, it's your birthday today, since you're so, because he knew I just love this kind of stuff. And it was like heaven. And I remember seeing the women in the makeup counter, and they were so beautiful to me. And I just remember seeing all the pristine makeup and perfume, and I would be like, it's my birthday, and they would be like, oh, well, I remember one lady was like, oh, she's gonna get this kind of stuff, and I was like, yeah. And then she was like, what do you want? And I remember she asked me what I wanted, and I said I want a lipstick. I wanted to get lipstick, and I remember sampling the lipstick and seeing the colors, and it was so nice because they gave me the samples, but I was like 7 or 8 or whatever. The samples meant the world to me. I just remember, I'll never forget that day. And they were like, and then they spread it towards all the makeup women. They kind of told each other that it was my birthday that day, and I felt like a queen. I went from every table and I got samples. I got samples of perfume. I got samples of lipstick. I got all these samples from each counter, and I thought my life was I just thought that I was in heaven. And I remember I had a purse, and it was my birthday that day, and I put all the samples in my purse, and I was so happy. And see, that's me. And the older I got, once I became a preteen, my parents, they still wouldn't let me wear lipstick. They still wouldn't let me wear makeup. It was just never ending. They would not allow me to wear makeup. But I remember whenever my mom would take us to like Walgreens, or she would take us places, I remember they had the makeup out. I would put on the makeup. You know, you're a kid. It's pretty gross, but I'll get the makeup and I'll put it on my eyes, and I'll do a full face of makeup, eyeshadow. I never put things on my skin as a teenager, as a kid. I didn't put product on my skin, but I would put the eyeshadow on. I would put all this stuff on, and then, I'll look around, and sometimes the workers would like chase after me and be like, that's not appropriate, you're making a mess of the displays, these are displays. They would get mad and stuff, and then they would be like, this is dirty, you shouldn't have put that on your face, this is unsanitary. And so I got to the point where I had to learn how to be quick and sneaky, because the staff would come and they would kind of like chase me around, or I would be running away from them trying to get the makeup on before they said something to me. And come on, I was a child, what do you expect? Now, one thing they said is that these kids in Sephora have attitudes, and they're children. What do you think? They're gonna make a mess. That's what children do. My question is the Sephora staff or these places doing what they did to me? When I was a child doing that stuff, the staff would come after me and tell me to stop. Is anybody not telling these children to stop? Or is there too many children in there and the staff feels uncomfortable? If you see a kid touching things and everything, you need to tell them to stop. You need to tell them like, hey, honestly, the parents need to tell them stop, but my mom was not. I don't know where she was. She was doing her own thing. Okay, honey, she's doing her own thing. But the parents should be the one that should be parenting and telling the kids to stop. But parents don't just, if you're like 10 or 11 or 12, your parents are 10 or 11, your parents aren't just gonna stand over you most of the times. Who knows? So the staff should feel a little bit comfortable. Unfortunately, they're gonna have to tell the kids to stop if the parents aren't. That's just my opinion on that. And that's what kids do. They like to cross boundaries. They make messes. You don't understand things. You don't care about things when you're a kid. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yes, it's annoying when I go to Sephora and I'm thinking I'm having a grown woman experience and I see a whole bunch of little kids running around. So I think that we should open up their own little shop. That would be my conclusion. My conclusion is, look, there is an obsession with beauty in a level that's unpredictable, unimaginable. It's always been like this, but now it's amplified. Why not make a little store that's kiddie proof? Because people are like, oh my goodness, it's destroying the kids' skin, it's dangerous, blase, blase, blase. There needs to be a new store, okay? The kids are different. The children are different now. You can't just isolate them and tell them they can't. They're gonna be okay. Maybe I'm gonna be an annoying millennial mom that's just gonna let my kids run muck. Maybe that's kind of mom I'm gonna be. Why not? They don't want to go to Claire's. Claire's is basic. Claire's is outdated. Okay, throw Claire's away. That's trash. These kids are elevated. These kids are on a next level. I don't want nobody to take my idea, but there needs to be a little shop for 10 to 13 years olds, and it needs to be catered to what they like. And if their parents are gonna buy them the makeup and buy that, think about it. Marketing strategy. There needs to be a place that's safe for children, that needs to be age appropriate, safe for children, made for children. If they like skincare, you know, lotion for children's face, lotion. It needs to be centered around children, meaning like scientifically it's not going to destroy the kids' faces. They don't need to go to Sephora. They need to have their mini Sephora. They need to have their kitty Sephora or Sephora Kids. I mean, that's the answer right there, you guys. Money bag, Sephora. Don't steal my idea. I'm telling you guys right now, I need to get royalty on this idea. There needs to be a mini Sephora, kids Sephora, okay, where all the products are gonna be natural, all the products are gonna be no makeup, and if it is gonna be makeup, it's gonna be light makeup, and it's gonna be all natural, and it's gonna be safe for children, and it's gonna be parent approved, and it's gonna be affordable for children, and things like that, because yeah. Dang it, I just had a wonderful idea and I hope nobody takes it. Anyways, that's my conclusion on that. My other thing is, some people are saying, oh, some of the kids can't afford it. Guess what? They're gonna be okay. Because guess what? I mean, I was okay. I wanted to get a lot of things when I was a kid, but my parents couldn't afford it. But I had the ability to think and say, you know what? My parents are working hard right now, and this is not something that they can afford, and this is not priority for my parents. I used to have friends who could buy like the best things, and like a lot of my friends, they had so much. Even when I was a teenager, they were allowed to wear makeup. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. They had so much makeup. They had blush and this. They had their own vanity. Some of my best friends, they had their own vanity in high school, and I didn't have a vanity. I didn't have no makeup. First of all, my parents didn't believe in me wearing makeup, but could they really afford to buy me all that stuff? Probably not. But I understood as a child that my parents couldn't afford that, and that was okay, you know? I understood that my parents were working hard for me, and I didn't want to put any applied pressure on them. I knew that they were doing the best that they could, and they would do whatever they could afford when they can afford it. So don't feel bad for the children, in my opinion. Nobody needs no pity, okay? I'm one of the children who couldn't get certain things because my parents couldn't afford it. And guess what? I'm okay, and the kids are gonna be okay. Stop thinking that if you just buy your kids everything and all these materialistic things, and if your kids can't get all these materialistic things, they're gonna be destroyed, and they're just not gonna have no self-confidence. Guess what? If I knew I couldn't get this kind of thing, I knew that I could make something. I used to make things. I used to make books. Like at the end of the year, I didn't want to ask my mom and dad to buy yearbooks because it was expensive and it can add up. So you know what? I would make my own little yearbook, and I'll staple it up, and then I'd have my friends sign it so we can have all the memories so I could still be part of it. Was it a little embarrassing? Yes, but could I have asked my mom and dad and pressured them to buy the yearbook? Yes, but did I want to? No. So don't feel sorry for the children who can't buy that stuff. They're gonna be okay, okay? Coming from a child who couldn't get everything that I wanted, they're gonna be okay. I think when you're at the moral of the story is parents should have the greatest influence on their children. Parents should be the loudest voice in their children. You raise up your children, you teach them, and you build them to be confident in every stage that they're at. No matter what you're able to afford, then give them. You do as much as you can to give them that confidence. And you know, once a child has that confidence and once that child is raised by their parents and taught a certain kind of way, then the outside world should not be able to penetrate them as bad. So that is my opinion on that. Let's say you're somebody who don't have parents who can help you in that way. It is adults' responsibility around children to give children that confidence, to let them light up, to be positive to these kids, to let them know that they're worthy. So it's not only a parent's responsibility to raise children. Honestly, it's adults' responsibility a little bit to raise children as well. When you see a child walking around doing certain things, you always should be positive towards children. You always should bring in the light of the children. You always should try to, you know, uplift them in some kind of way, even if they're not your child. That's what adults should be, because you know that you're a child one day. You know that your mind's not working completely. You know a child's like, you know, they're children. So anyways, I just want to talk about that, and I want you guys to let me know if you have seen children at Sephora and how you feel about that. Do you feel like, oh my god, it's the end of the world? Do you feel like it's not a big deal? Do you feel like it's not that serious? See you next video. Bye.